I've played a lot of Arc Raiders, so I want to give you some tips to go into this server slam with so that you're prepared to have as much fun as humanly possible. It should be noted that this is only going to be around for a few days, so that is going to heavily weight the tips for this video on how to get the most out of this tech test so you can have the most amount of fun and avoid as many headaches as possible. Consider this more of like a prep guide, the things that you should do first so that you can have a few days of good fun instead of a few days of sort of just getting stuck grinding the game. If you plan to play this game a lot over the next few days, number one, definitely focus on doing some missions. We don't know what it will be like going into this server slam, but it's probably going to be similar to previous tech tests, where there'll be a missions tab where you'll have certain objectives that you can complete within a match to unlock specific rewards. Now, some of these rewards are really valuable. For example, they give you access to craft specific things like the snap hook grappling hook, which is going to allow you to traverse terrain a lot more efficiently. Go and have a look at the missions and try and complete some. Now, whilst you're completing these missions, this gives you a great opportunity to learn about the maps and the game. And this brings me perfectly into the next point. For your first few games on each map, well, I guess we're only on Down Battlegrounds for this, play a free loadout. Free loadouts get you a bunch of low tier gear to go in with, and you don't need anything in your inventory. And you can use this as many times as you want. Unlike other extraction shooters where you're limited to how many times you can use a free loadout, or you have to wait a certain amount of time before it's available again, in Arc Raiders, you can just keep using free loadouts again and again and again. Now, you're very limited with storage when it comes to free loadouts, so overall, it's not the best way to play if you're trying to get out with a bunch of loot, but it's going to give you the freedom and less pressure to explore the maps, understand how the game evolves, and try and get a feel for things without any fear of losing anything. That's going to really help you gain your confidence, get the hang of dealing with Arc, dealing with other players, understand how to extract, and also you can use this opportunity to go and complete a bunch of missions whilst you're at it as well. The next thing that's going to slow you down massively in Arc Raiders is stamina. Like, you're literally going to go slower. Basically, you're going to run a bunch and then you're going to run out of stamina, and your only option to recharge that quickly is to sit there and wait. So this kind of gameplay may get a bit tiring for you. To fix this, the best thing you can do is focus on the stamina part of the skill tree as much as possible. With a few upgrades, this is going to make the issue a lot less of an issue, and you'll kind of forget about stamina as you start to run around. But at the beginning, it can feel painfully slow. There is another solution to that as well, which will bring me into my next tip. Stamina can be sorted out by using an adrenaline shot. Now, adrenaline shots can actually be crafted in the match alongside a bunch of other useful items which can heal you and heal your shields. There's a separate crafting menu when you open up the menu in a match. Now, all of the stuff that you can craft here is from usually just basic materials, and you can break down almost anything in the game to get these basic materials. So craft adrenaline shots and you're going to have a much better time. You can just use it like a stim and it's going to recharge your stamina, and you won't have to keep sitting behind rocks and in bushes for it to recharge slowly over time. The next thing is, remember that this is just a limited test and you will have all of your stuff wiped. So yes, at the start, definitely use free loadouts, get a hang of the game, but once you start to build up enough stuff, definitely make sure you have a chance to use it. Use all your high tier shields, use your equipment, use your best weapons, because it'll be great for you to get a chance to actually experience everything you can whilst you can, because if you try too hard to store up and stack up too much stuff, then it's just going to go away by the end of the test. So make sure you use all of your highest tier gear once you start to get it rolling in, because otherwise you're just never going to have a chance to use it. I made that mistake myself. I started to build up a nice stash of really good weapons that were pretty upgraded, and then later on the servers went down and I never really got a chance to use it. So just always be aware that you're not building up your account here. This is a test. It's all going to be wiped. So get a chance to experience everything you possibly can, from all the weapons and gadgets to the grenade types to everything you possibly have a chance to, because this is like a free shot to just try out the game and experience it for yourself before the servers go live and there won't be any wipes then. Next tip is very common in extraction shooters, but it's a very, very big issue in Arc Raiders specifically. Extraction campers will sit up and wait at the extraction points to steal all your hard-earned work, right? They'll wait there for the entire match whilst you're running up and, you spent your whole time fighting like crazily. You're about to escape, and then someone sitting in a bush shoots you down and you lose everything. Very popular thing for players to do in extraction games. But in Arc Raiders, it's more of an issue because when you extract, you have to call up an elevator if you don't have a Raider hatch key, and then wait for it to come up. It makes a bunch of noise. Anyone in the area is going to know that you're trying to escape. And then you got to go in there and activate a button before you can escape. So I've got a couple tips to try and avoid your chances of dealing with extract campers. The truth is, you probably are going to deal with them, but this is what I found to be successful in my playtime. Firstly, when you're coming up on an extract point, just survey the area and be aware of the places that players could potentially be hiding in, right? Looking for any hiding spots and just see if you could see any potential enemies here. The next thing is to try and bait people out. You want to try and open the elevator and then go and run and hide, right? Find another little hiding spot for yourself, wait there, and then once it's open, you can start making your way towards it. You don't want to just sit and wait for the elevator to come up. But as you're running towards out in the open, don't just go and press the button immediately, because this is usually when players will come out and catch you off guard. Once you're inside the elevator room, just look outside a little second. Is there anyone peeking in or trying to push you? Because if there is, this might be where you get caught in the animation to call up the elevator, and you need to be ready to catch them off guard. You're inside the elevator, and hopefully you'll have a nice way to play off of cover whilst they run out in the open to try and catch you off guard, and that's when you catch them off guard. Another tip is just try not to leave it till the very last second to escape from a raid, because this is usually when players will be extract camping the most, I've found. And also, if you find out that there is an extract camper and it's not too late in the raid, you can always just leave and find another extraction point where they won't be camping. So if you start taking damage and you have no time left on the clock, you have no choice but to hit that extract button. You're just going to be screwed. Another tip for those that aren't familiar with extraction games, a lot of your resources and overall loot will end up coming from your workshop, where you can craft pretty much anything you want. Now, you'll need to build up the workshop components, and you may be wondering, is it worth trying to farm all this loot just to do that? The answer is honestly yes, if you want to get access to better guns, better gear. Without it, you're going to be struggling to find this stuff. So upgrading your workshop is a major priority, even if you're just playing for a few days. Now, if you only have a few hours to play Arc Raiders during this server test, I wouldn't worry about the workbench much. But if you plan to play for like a dozen or more hours over the next few days, then yes, get some priority on that workbench. It's going to make the whole experience a lot better. So those are my tips for Arc Raiders Server Slam specifically. These tips are focused on removing friction and giving you the chance to have more fun. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!